Well, workplaces are opening up and employers are entitled to require staff to go back into work. But of course, some staff are uncertain about that. There's no general ability for an employee to refuse to attend a workplace. Workplaces are open and employers are entitled to require staff to come back. It's a balancing exercise though, as an employer. It's understanding the needs of employees, but also balancing those against the needs of the business. The key for employers is to have an open and transparent dialogue, understanding why an employee doesn't want to return. It may be perfectly possible, having had that conversation, for an employer to identify some relatively easy steps that can be taken to reassure the employee. That might be by explaining what measures have been put in place in the workplace to keep staff safe. It might be suggesting something that the employee themselves can do that makes the situation easier. For example, travelling into work at non-peak times on public transport. Sometimes the situation isn't quite as easy, and staff may have underlying health issues which explain why they have concerns about returning. For example, they may be anxious, and in certain circumstances that can amount to a disability for employment law purposes. If an employee has a disability, an employer will need to consider whether reasonable adjustments can be made to accommodate that. That can include, for example, flexible working. It may require medical evidence to be sought as well to understand what other adjustments can be made. Perhaps a member of staff has a vulnerable family member and wants to protect them from the risks of contracting COVID. Again, it's about exploring what can be done to balance the needs of the individual against the needs of the business. After all options have been explored, an employer can dismiss or discipline if it doesn't want to go to the step of dismissal, but there is then a risk that employment claims can be made. Those claims can include unfair dismissal, discrimination, and whistleblowing claims. Thank you for listening.